Whew. And back. The dog hurt me. She whacked into me in a way that hurt. My body hurts all over. And especially if you whack into it anywhere. Anyway, I had to put her away. I need a place where, and one of the cats, Tarzan, nearly knocked over the camera. I had to grab it. I really need a studio that's a no animal zone. Okay, where were we? Where were we? Perhaps the break was helpful in that I can cut to the chase more. Lexapro withdrawals. Cutting sensory contact with the world is the most important thing to getting out of the world, getting out of this world. Shifting your attention from one body to another in one venue to another is how you basically get around. You do it all the time in your sleep. You're just not maintaining lucidity and continuity of identity across the venues, across the frequency changes into these alternate world venues that you're already visiting in your sleep, but you're not maintaining the lucidity, as I said, and so you're not remembering them. Your memory, you're not storing. Each frequency that you enter changes the way the memories are stored in your field, which makes it harder from one energetic signature to another to reach across and pull the memories of what was happening in your experience in another world and thread them together. I'm hoping that makes sense. But lucidity in dreams, in your sleeping dreams, is how you begin the process of building your ability to cross realm barriers, maintaining a sense of identity. And lucidity is identity, really. But the identity I'm talking about is consciousness itself, aware of its many incarnations, as Michael calls them. Okay. So in the course of writing Chalice, one of the places in the book, Chalice is the first book in the Vampyre Grail affairs, one of the places in the book we keep visiting is this locker room, and the heroine is trying to remember something that happened that has been hidden in her memories, and it happened in that locker room. And so we keep visiting the locker room while she tries to recover the memory, to make herself lucid, because full lucidity is a function of remembering who you are. And you are not this or that character. You are the consciousness that is dreaming of being all of these characters. So lucidity is the thing you want to approach in every way possible, in your sleeping dreams, etc. This allows you the ability, it builds your ability to, when you quit this venue, literally die, leave the venue, stop using the sensory apparatus you have in that venue and turn your attention elsewhere. It allows you to freely navigate across realm traverses without losing lucidity, so you never fall into identification of dreams of suffering, okay? You can visit any venue you like without losing yourself in the identity of the persona you appear to be in that venue. Okay, I think that's set up enough, and it'll be on film so you can replay it. But if you have any questions, this is important. This is important to your eternal salvation in a way that has nothing to do with anything religious. It has to do with your growing lucidity. And really, in a way, many ways, Jesus' message was of lucidity, knowing yourself, knowing your true self. Not your persona, your likes, your druthers. Your true self, consciousness itself, conscious of itself. Okay. So I started writing these books and then going through Lexapro and having to Imagifest them. I would imagine them clearly every time I was going to write a scene that happened in this locker room or any place else. That was my method of writing. I would lay down and I would visualize it. I would know ahead of time what was basically going to happen, but I would lay down and visualize it so that I could and feel the feelings that my characters were likely to feel, so I'd be able to know what they would say, how they would say it, etc. And when you put your attention in a thing, the attention is your godly, let's call it mojo. When you put your attention in a thing, it slowly, to Imagifest it slowly grows in its dimensionality and reality. It actually becomes you're a godling. You're creating this thing you're putting your attention on. You're not creating it where you can see it necessarily unless you're a sculptor or some other sort of artist that does that, renders in this venue. But when you do it with your mind, you're Imagifesting it in the astral realms, the astral planes. Michael calls them lateral realms. Okay. They are freestanding energetic structures in the joint mind space of the all that is, we call God or Source. These are, because you're a godling, what you are putting your attention on, you are actually creating in the astral. And when your frequency and the frequency of the outcome or the thing you're trying to create in the astral, when your frequency matches the frequency of that thing, it pops into your physical reality. This is the law of attraction as people experience it, but it's not really what's happening, but we'll save that for another time. You're not attracting it, you're creating it, you're summoning it into your experience, you're tunneling into the dream of manifesting it. So, in any case, that's my experience. Okay, I can respect that other people experience something being attracted to them, but I'm a very, we're all male and female together, and I'm a very balanced male-female person. I'm quite heterosexual, but I'm a yang energy, so I like to go out and get things. So I tend to experience manifestation in the terms of I tunnel into that experience because my life has been full of dreaming and lucid dreaming as a recurrent theme and very important. I started lucid dreaming when I was about 8. That is, I was aware I was dreaming. I was observing myself being aware that I was dreaming. So lucidity is key to your salvation, because if you believe you are a character who can suffer loss and die when you enter a venue where that appears to be the case, you are going to suffer. But if you enter that venue in full lucidity, knowing that it's only an experience, like going into a lab where you're going to lab would probably be an engineered experience room of some sort. You're going in there to have this experience. You know you're doing this if you, even then, I know from playing video games years ago, you're going to become identified with your character and you're going to respond as though your own body in this venue will respond as though you are that character suffering in that other venue. So maintaining lucidity is your salvation, because you no longer identify as any character you might appear to play in any venue you enter. So the Vampyre Grail affairs in Chalice, there is this locker room that I had to Imagifest over and over again. And I didn't realize in the course of doing that writing work that I was actually creating this freestanding venue, this meta venue as Michael calls it. That I didn't become aware of it until towards the end of coming out of Lexapro withdrawals, and I went in there as a to meditate, get away from my body, fall inward. I had Imagifested it very laboriously, the environment, and I each time I went in there, it became easier to Imagifest to feel, see, hear, smell, taste the whole thing around me. And then I went in one day and I didn't have to Imagifest anything. It was all suddenly very self-animated, which surprised me, to say the least. And then I went in there and I started seeing people that this is in the portal, because the portal leads out the back door to the venue in which the book series plays out. It's called Terra, Terra. Out the back door you get into Terra, but there's a stairwell up there, and at the top of the stairwell I built an alternate venue version of Earth I call the Perfect World. And I built that too quite laboriously. And then I went in there and up the stairs and into the Perfect World, and everything was self-animated. There were things I had not put there that just appeared there. So this started making me ask questions. If I had actually created this, or if perhaps I was in an enhanced, very lucid dream state, because it was very vivid. I didn't know how to explain it at all for a while. And then I went in again, and characters from the book started showing up there. This was while I was in edits for the second and third book, Beacon and Traveler. There were characters in there. I had just written the villain into captivity in the books. I'd written him into captivity in the astral version of the locker room. And the portal is that locker room. And I went into the portal, and there was old Stuart. And he addressed me and said things I did not Imagifest. I'd gone before this up into the Perfect World, before I ran into Stuart there. I went up the stairs into the Perfect World, and it had self-manifested, animated. And there were things like, there was a tide berm on the beach that I had not done the work for. How did it get there? I didn't know. Maybe a natural consequence of me knowing that tides turn, or I wondered if perhaps I'd stumbled into somebody else's work, somebody else's Imagifested venue. It just brought up a lot of questions, especially when I looked down and in the shelly, the little tiny coquina shells and tiny mollusks, other mollusk shells, and sand, there was green sea glass. And I certainly hadn't put that there. Stippled green sea glass. Glass. How did that get there? So, all of this led to a whole lot of questions, and it wasn't until dead people started showing up in the portal. My dear friend Bill Skinner, who died, 2020, and my dad, that I realized that the portal that I had thought was just in my imagination was actually a freestanding energetic structure in the astral realms that is perfectly accessible to other intelligences. Now, this does not seem to me to be an unwarranted inferential leap. So I made an audio file that induces theta brainwave state. It's playing in the background now. It's called the portal. It's for reading ambiance when you're reading Chalice and Beacon and Traveler. I made another one for Traveler and the books beyond, and that's Portal to the Perfect World at the top of the stairs. Chalice, Beacon, and Traveler. Chalice starts by awakening your chakras. It gets your lower chakras really churning with a whole lot of, it's a literary erotic fantasy. What is that? I don't even know anymore. But it gets your lower chakras whirring, and then it lifts the energy through the course of the story up into your heart and your throat and your head chakras. It teaches you all the same things you would learn from A Course in Miracles or Rise, and much more, in the form of a very engaging story. And these characters live out experiences similar to some of my own, similar to yours, in discovering who their broader self is. My vampires, when they die, all have near-death experiences as part of their death process, where they visit many other worlds lucidly, and they come back to this world with a strong appreciation that they are consciousness itself, with many lives going on in many venues. They just don't remember necessarily or are attending to the ongoing lives, what's going on in those other lives simultaneously. It would be rather difficult to maintain your focus in any one venue if all the other venues were also playing through your experience at the same time. It'd be a bit disorienting. There'd be some mix-ups to be sure. So this frequency separation is important between the venues in order to keep you able to function in them. But at the same time, you don't want to lose your lucidity in them entirely, so that you come to think of yourself, to identify as the body, the story, the mind that attacks your peace. In every venue you visit, you're building a mind that works for that venue, that has your memories of who you are in that venue in it. Okay, so reading Chalice will awaken your chakras, and it's designed to induce lucidity and to awaken your chakras, get them going, get them whirring, and get the energy drawn up into your heart, throat, and head chakras. The Portal audio file is made as reading ambiance for the series. It induces theta while you're reading, and it will give you an experience of the books that is much more multisensory and engaging, and the objective is to get you having lucid dreams. The Portal audio file is intended to retune your energetic frequency so it matches the portal, which is that freestanding energetic structure in the astral realms. This is the way world venues get built. Someone in the venue works to build the venue, a new venue, inside the first venue. Like me in my avatar here, this body as Colleen Callahan, I build a world, and I present it to the population therein, and a certain number of them read, learn it, and want to be a part of it. In reading and learning it, they become tuned to that venue, so that when they split, when they leave their body in this venue, they can choose to go to the other, to which they are tuned. The audio file, the portal, is designed to adjust your frequency so that you are more easily able to enter that venue, and to find it, to get to it, to recognize it, because you'll be tuned to it. So it not only teaches you to escape venues and keep your lucidity. The book series, bit by bit, expands your thoughts about who and what you are. It is going to actually make it possible for you to, in lucid dream states, in interverse travel, in lucid dream states, to access the portal, the realm of Terra, and the perfect world above at the top of the stairs. So I wrote this for everyone as an invitation to another venue when you quit this one. And in between, if you, in reading the series and meditating, find yourself able to get about, maintaining lucidity as you interverse travel and visit this venue, if you're maintaining lucidity and memories, it's going to be fun. You're going to have a good time. Your whole idea of who you are and what you are is going to change completely. And you're going to experience a slowly growing uncaused joy. Has nothing to do with anything in this venue. It's just the awareness of what, or any venue, it's just the awareness of what you are. That you're not captive of any story. No backstory can hold you or contain you or define you unless you allow it. You're not a captive of your backstory, of your circumstances. You are not your circumstances. You're not identified even with the mind that is attacking your peace, scaring you, keeping you up at night. So I wrote this series, and as it turns out, all these years took me since 1995 for this time, so that people would find their wings, find their ability to traverse realm barriers that are really frequency retunings. So that's about all for today. That wasn't really about Imagifesting in particular, but I wanted you to understand why I wrote these books and why I want you to read these books and enjoy the audio file too, because it'll give you a much more vivid experience and retune you, opening your mind so that a bigger mind can be built on top of the tattered ends of your own worldview, so recently shattered by everything that's going on. I love you all. I really hope to see you in the perfect world. I didn't know I was building a perfect world, but as it turns out, it's just as real as this one. It's in another frequency, in the astral realms, the lateral realms. And you can get there This is your invitation. From the Daemon Michael, through me, just a humble Grail.